Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
After battling through a 7-game road trip, the Tigers come back to Comerica Park to settle in for their longest homestand of the year. It'll be 12 in a row, 18 of the next 21 here in Detroit. And even though Kirk Gibson and I wouldn't mind being on his boat right now on that beautiful piece of water, we're even more excited to bring you the Tigers and White Sox in the first of the 3-game weekend series here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everybody, alongside the 2-time World Series champion Kirk Gibson. I'm Matt Shepard, filling in for Mario and Pemba. We should be in for a treat tonight because we get a chance to see two of the best hitters in the American League. We're also going to get a chance to see Jeimer Candelario back in the Tigers lineup. A little bit more on that later on in the broadcast. But Castellanos is a guy right now, 4 straight games of multi-hit games. He's 6th in the league in batting average. How has he been able to mature so fast,
Well,
do you
let's
think?
not forget he's the Ram pick, the stick, #1 pick again tonight, and every night, 367 on a tough 2-5 road trip. How does he do it? He just springs with confidence. They said today at the luncheon, he talks about confidence. We talked to him in spring, confidence. He got off to kind of a slow start. He stayed positive. He stayed steady. At the Economic Club luncheon today, he was a moderator for his teammates. He just continues to show growth and growth. You can see the numbers at the bottom of the screen there. Nick is on his way.
Meanwhile, for Chicago, Jose Abreu is a guy who tears up Tigers pitching and might be underrated. Right now, what he's done through the first 4 seasons of his major league career, he's in the likes of company of DiMaggio and Albert Pujols. What makes him so dangerous, Gibby?
Well, because he hits 25-plus home runs and 100-plus RBIs in the first 4 years of his career, like DiMaggio and Pujols. This guy just rakes. He rakes in the American League since 2014. Look at all the numbers. He's up there in the top 10. He rakes Detroit. He just came off a monster homestand, 12 for 27, 391. He's hot in his last 17 games. How do you deal with this guy? We know he can hit. Don't mess around with him. You must pitch around Jose Abreu if you get into any kind of trouble tonight.
He loves hitting against the Tigers. 333 in his career against Detroit. Earlier this season, the Tigers swept a 3-game series in Chicago. It was chilly then. It is polar opposite tonight. The Tigers, though, are hoping for the same results and similar results from Jeimer Candelario before he went on the DL. John Keating joins us from the Coliseum Studios to explain how important he is when we come back.
Deals, digital coupons, and more. By Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Chrysler, hurry in for a great deal at the Chrysler Incredible Sales Event. Great night for a ball game in downtown Detroit. John Keating welcoming you back. A quick pop into the Call Sam studio. We talked of the return of Jeimer Candelario. It will be interesting to see what kind of pitches he gets, hitting third in the Tigers' order tonight. This is the first time this season he has hit there, only the second time in his career, hoping to provide some offense for Mike Fiers, who shut out the White Sox way back on April 8th in Chicago. That's a baseball forever ago, but throwing strikes is vital for Mike Fiers. He has the largest decrease in walks among starters in all of baseball. Mike Fiers looking to stay hot against the White Sox here tonight.
On this Friday night, the first of three between these two teams this weekend here on Fox Sports Detroit. Today's starting pitcher for the Tigers, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, Kirk Gibson. Mike Fiers makes his 9th start of the season.
9th start. He's faced the White Sox 4 times in his career, posting a 2-0 record, .70 ERA, 24 strikeouts, and 25 innings pitched. Remember, he threw a no-no back in August 21st of 15 versus the Dodgers, so he's got big play capability.
Just 7 walks issued by Mike Fiers this year. That is the 3rd fewest in the American League. He'll face Yoan Moncada good-looking young player who came over in the Chris Sale deal with the Boston Red Sox. And the first pitch on this Friday night in Detroit is hammered to right. Castellanos got a late start over his head off the wall, and Moncada will cruise into second with a lead-off double. Here's the rest of that Chicago batting order presented to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Jose Abreu, we talked glowingly about him for good reason at the beginning of the broadcast. 27 multi-hit games in his career against Detroit. Daniel Palka's the DH. He's got a 5-game hitting streak. And Adam Engel patrolling center field. Last 11 games, he's batting .333.
Moncada, I tell you what, we got a scouting report today and it said do not throw him a first pitch fastball, and we did, and he didn't miss it, so leadoff double.
Yolmer Sanchez, who's been a clutch hitter for this team, fouls it back, even though he's more of a contact hitter.
Well, you take a look at these swings right now. He's a very aggressive player.
High, and it's 1-1.
Mike Fiers likes to keep that ball up high, throws that fastball up high, change up in the dirt. Also has got a breaking pitch. Likes to mix it up. Seems to have a way of wiggling out of trouble.
He'll have to do that early here tonight. Sanchez right back up the box. Iglesias had him played perfectly. 1 down.
Oakland University brings you the Tigers starting defense. Going left to right in the outfield, Jacoby, Leonis, and Nicholas. Iglesias and Goodwin up the middle. Hicks at first, Candelario at third. James McCann behind the dish, catching Mike Fiers.
Good to see Jamer Candelario back at third base. You and I talked to him before the broadcast tonight and said he knows he's ready. He's 100%. The wrist feels really, really strong.
Got to hope that that isn't something that comes back and returns. Something that's very important to be able to hit is have no problems with your wrist. You know, just think of the motion of swinging a bat. Things can happen, but he's confident, and we'll hope that it follows that suit.
I asked him, does it bother you? Did it bother you more defensively or offensively? He said, not defensively. It was more about swinging the bat than anything else. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Abreu just outside. You got to be careful with this guy, Gibby, for a number of reasons. Ron Gardenhire told you and I earlier he might be one of the more underrated hitters despite his gaudy numbers.
Well, you don't hear that much about him. Of course, we're in Detroit here, and we're talking about Miggy all the time, but he's got numbers that will match anybody.
Sliced one to right center field. That's between the outfielders, Castellanos and Martin. A second double for the inning for the White Sox, and they've drawn first blood early.
Another fastball, 89 mile an hour. So Abreu and Moncada both feasting on the fastball. See it coming out, and there's not a lot of action on the pitch right now. That was pretty much down the heart of the plate. And as you said, Abreu, you're happy that he keeps it in the park.
Brings up the designated hitter, Daniel Palka. To second. Goodrum from the seat of his pants. 2 down. Boy, they're jumping on Fiers early.
And they don't want to
see something.
Yeah, they don't want to wait around, so he gets in the driver's seat, gets ahead of him, and then he can throw his secondary pitches. They're searching the fastball. If it's a breaking pitch or an off-speed pitch early, they'll miss it. It'll be 0-1. They've got 2 strikes left. Tigers do that many times as well, but they're going to have to mix it up a bit here and get them out the fastball.
This is a Chicago offense that has generated now 144 extra base hits. Tim Anderson, the shortstop, again first pitch swinging and an RBI single, and it's 2-0 White Sox.
That was something off speed, but didn't have a lot of action on it. It was down the heart of the plate. You see the Fiers trying to make the adjustment. You see it from behind, and again they're just ready to whack.
Just his 13th RBI in the year, and a guy who had been in a major slump coming into the game. Last 20 games batting just a .164. Stands on first and a base stealing threat. Omar Narvaez, the catcher, stands in.
11 steals, caught one time, Tim Anderson.
Well, he's got a 90% success rate in his career. First pitch strike. Anderson 36 of 40 in stolen base chances in his career.
Pretty good.
Yeah, really good.
146 on the delivery from the time that Fires started his motion till the time it hit the glove. Anderson will get the bag on that time. Have to try and speed it up a little bit. Now, kind of comes off if you speed it up. Probably Mike is trying to find his rhythm out there, so if you ignore the runner for now and make sure you get the hitter with 2 outs.
Oh, 1 pitch and tight. Last time out, Fires against Seattle. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, just a couple of strikeouts. Not a strikeout pitcher.
Heads up here.
Missed outside. Narvaez likes hitting here. 455 with a couple of doubles and 3 extra hit games in 7 career games in this beautiful ballpark.
We'll talk a little bit about the umpire, Mark Carlson. A little tight on the outside corner right now.
2-1 pitch. Now 3-1. The term laboring is oftentimes used with a pitcher who struggles in an inning. What's the definition for you as a former manager of a pitcher laboring?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of laboring that goes on all around the diamond. I never looked at Lewis this way. He's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning with 2 runs. You're always trying to figure out how do you cut it off. You know, the more you cut it off, the easier your climb back up the ladder is going to be.
Lost him.
Take a look at the umpires. Mark Carlson behind the plate. You see the Gooch at first, Hoberg and Lentz second and third. Mark Carlson's been an umpire since '99. Likes to call the low ball, probably if he's going to call any pitch, maybe a little wider on the outside corner from a lefty. Usually, he's got a level head, has not ejected a manager since June 13th of 2016. That was Robin Ventura. Mike Fires pretty good with him behind the plate. 15 pitches, the ratio. Not what you're looking for. 9 strikes, 6 balls.
What's the ratio you'd like?
I think anybody would go for 70% strikes, but in reality it's going to be less than that.
Adam Engel waits on the 0-1 pitch. Popped up, foul. See his numbers on the year. Imagine how bad they were previous to the last 11 games, where he's 11 for his last 33. So he's had a nice little run here. Fires ahead in the count, 0-2.
Foul ball. Almost got him on the hand.
Sure did. You could hear it from here. Nub of the bat, yep. Handle.
The Tigers got him earlier in the year on high fastballs. Swings right under it. He's got an unusual swing. You see, he kind of tilts that back side underneath the pitch. Struck him out many times.
Another 0-2 offering from Fires. Good stop by McCann. It's interesting, you and I were at that luncheon for the Tigers today at the Detroit Economic Club. Michael Fulmer was talking about the players who mean an awful lot to him, inspire him, and he mentioned his catchers, McCann, Hicks, Griner. because of plays like that.
Definitely important play. You don't want to let that ball get by and let the runners move up.
Yeah, keeps the force in play. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, grounded to Candelario, and it's foul.
That was a close call. Nick Lentz, the umpire at third base, called it foul. Looked like it could have went over the corner of the bag, but you cannot appeal or video review a ball in front of an umpire unless he's jumping to get out of the way, which he was not. We call that a little nubber, by the way, Shep.
You and I had a little nubber in Kansas City. I'm not sure if that would work that definition. But.
That's a nubber, not a little nubber.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, we'll have that little difference between the two. Either way, that would have been a nice way to come back for Jamer Candelario, right? Get a nice easy one into your glove and a step on third and hit the dugout running.
Like the high fastball here, just above the zone.
See if you can make him chase. Off speed, it's 2-2.
See, Mike looks a little frustrated, searching for his rhythm, his feel right now. One of the things many pitchers have trouble in the first inning because they come out of that bullpen. They take all those pitches out of the windup. They'll take one pitch out of the stretch. Then they find themselves in the stretch.
This one hammered foul down the left field line. Well, you can understand why he's frustrated. Mike Fiers has allowed as many earned runs already in this first inning as he has in the previous 4 career starts against Chicago. Fiers 2-0 with a .70 ERA against the White Sox coming into the game tonight. That ERA lowest by any pitcher since the ERA became a stat in 1913 with at least 14 games started. This one fouled right back. And here's the Chevrolet most dependable player, Mike Fiers, against the White Sox. Number obviously will go up. Lance Lynn, who the Tigers saw recently in Minnesota, is third on that list. Full. 23 pitches thrown by Mike Fiers, and Kirk Gibson has told us numerous times throughout the broadcast, you want to be right around 14 or 15.
Yeah, he's over the limit so far. Again, just not really finding the rhythm to get the ball where he wants it.
10th pitch of the at-bat coming here. Yanked foul.
You'd think Engel's been pulling many balls foul. You'd think if you just threw him something away that you'd get him. He's not trying to hit it the other way. Mike's a veteran pitcher. He's had to learn how to fight through these things many times. Big pitch right here.
The payoff. Popped it up. Foul.
He could get that changeup down and away if he had that feel.
It's a good at bat, though. No matter what ends up for Adam Engel, he has made the Tiger starter work, and he's had him probably seen every single pitch you could possibly throw at him so far, which should help him later on.
Yep.
In the game.
Gotta agree with that. Everything but the kitchen sink. So
there you go.
Bring it out.
All right. Another payoff pitch for Fiers. Got under it. Iglesias drifting out. Nobody does it better. But Chicago plates 2. They send 7 men to the plate, and they're up early in Detroit. 4 dealers. Leonis Martin ready to lead things off. Went 1 for 25 on the recent road trip. Jeimer Candelario back in the lineup and in the 3-hole. He's hit safely in 18 of his last 24 games. And John Hicks stays at first base. In May, he's batting .313. Today's White Sox starting pitcher is Reynaldo Lopez, presented by MGM Grand Detroit. What makes him effective, Kirk Gibson?
A 24-year-old right-hander, 10th start of the season. Recorded his first win on the 20th versus the Rangers. A lot of fastballs early. You see his record is 1-3 ERA at 2.98. He's got a good slider, and then he'll throw the changeup and then the curveball. But mainly a fly ball pitcher. However, lately he's been getting a lot of his outs on ground balls. His
ERA ranks 10th in the league. The batting average against him right around .207. That ranks 12th in the American League. Martin looks at a first pitch wide. Leonis Martin has that contagious personality that keeps the clubhouse loose. And yet, has he performed or what?
He has a little stumbling block. He had that right hamstring strain.
Is that difficult? I mean, when you're on the DL for a little bit, to come back and find that rhythm. He told you and I earlier today, I've been having a hard time slowing the game down, finding that rhythm again. 2-1.
Yeah, it is tough, especially if you're a center fielder and you're a base stealer, a base runner, and you'll just watch many hitters. Just watch their lower half. And he's talking about being slower, calmer. You just get that foot up, get it down. You keep your hands back. He's had trouble staying back.
Counts even.
Ball right into the corner right there. Maybe a little off. Didn't get the call. But it looks like he's drifting a little bit.
He's also had some trouble with fastballs down the middle of the plate. And that's always concerning at this level. Got to hit the fastball.
You're going to get him.
Low. It's full.
Little slide piece right there. Got to believe he's going to get the fastball here on the outside part of the plate. It's the fastball away.
Slice to third. Sanchez across the diamond, and there's one down.
Let's take a look at the White Sox starting defense. Left to right in the outfield, Charlie Tilson. Adam Engel in center, Trace Thompson in right. Yolmer Sanchez at third, Jose Abreu at first, Yohan Moncada at second, and Tim Anderson is at shortstop. Omar Narvaez is catching Reynaldo Lopez, and there's another out by the ground ball.
And as good as Moncada is offensively and gifted, he's got to work on his defense. Worst fielding percentage among American League second basemen. But he is up here for one reason, and that's to hit the baseball. The fielding will come.
Or if you hit enough, it doesn't matter.
Right. Speaking of hitting, Nick Castellanos, how good has he been, huh?
Yeah, no, since I've been on, they've moved him to second. And investigated a little bit about that. He was at third. The number 3 spot has maybe the most opportunities with outs when you come up, or 2 outs, whereas this number 2 spot you get at bats with less outs or no outs. That makes sense?
Sure. Now you hit primarily third, didn't you?
Yes, I did. They didn't have all the data at that time. You know, it was, and we all played every day, basically the 9 guys. They've changed that up too. Pitchers are now going shorter distances.
Pop up right side. Abreu backpedaling, and there's 2 down. Yeah, but you had great table setters too. Whitaker at the top, Trammell batted second, you third. The big wheel, Lance Parrish right behind you. That was really impressive.
Great teams are made up of that.
Yeah. 2 down for the Tigers, and that'll bring up Jeimer Candelario. You knew how much it pained him not to be able to be with this team. Did have a couple of rehab stints in Toledo where he went 2 for 8, scored 3 runs.
You look at that OPS 856, that's pretty respectable. Also, I believe he leads the team in walks. He's got a very good eye, being a switch hitter. We're talking, I think it's the left wrist, so it should be okay from this side of the plate.
just outside. Ron Gardenhire said he talked with Doug Minkiewicz, the Mud Hens AAA manager, and the scouting report, or the report back, was, look, Candelario's hitting everything hard. Lefties and righties, squaring the ball really well. He's ready to go and contribute for you. That was good enough for Gardenhire. Hasn't had a chance to swing the stick yet. 3-0.
He's got a very good eye. He's not going to offer unless it's worthy. I don't think he would be swinging 3-0 here.
No green light?
No.
You were right.
Many players don't like to do that, but I mean, why? Let's get some pitches on this arm.
Lopez works quickly.
He's got a little run on that fastball away.
Now it's full.
97 miles an hour.
2 runs usually pretty good for Ronaldo Lopez. He's allowed 2 runs or fewer in 7 of his 9 starts. Check swing foul. If Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring in a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. You can find that box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Fly ball to left. Charlie Tilson makes the catch, and the Tigers go quietly in the first. They trail 2-0. Trace Thompson, and then to the top of the order for Yohan Moncada against Mike Fiers, who threw 26 pitches in the first. 17 strikes. Good way to start the second. White Sox had 4 batters swing at the very first offering in that first frame. That one skipped up there for a ball. Tilson playing just his 2nd game of the year. If you were with us on Tigers Live pregame, John Keating told you he made his major league debut here at Comerica Park a couple of years ago. Tore his hamstring. That one got away from him. 2-1.
Fiers again. You can see him struggling with his release point. That ball came out real early.
How do you get it back?
He's just searching. He's trying different things to correct it.
Popped it up to straightaway center. Martin 2 steps in, and there's 1 down.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. First inning, Mike Fiers, 25 pitches. The White Sox came out jumping on the first pitch. Moncada. Sanchez gets him over. Jose Abreu with the double. Palka get the ground ball. Tim Anderson with the single. But he did a pretty good job of cutting the damage off by getting Adam Engel to end the inning. That was 7 batters, 2 runs. Comes out, he's struggling a little bit here now, but got a feeling he's going to find it. 30 pitches this game so far.
Trace Thompson stands in. Trace Thompson was released by Oakland.
Yeah, he just got on another plane, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. White Sox picked him up. Second stint with the White Sox. Had some time with the LA Dodgers as well. Quickly behind 0-2. Good stop by McCann.
When Mike is on, he can throw all of his pitches pretty much where he wants to throw. We talked a lot about how he has not been walking batters this year. He changes speeds as well. And right there, he tried to take a lot off the curveball and yanked it.
The 1-2. Sculled it to third. Nice play by Candelario. And a good strong throw to get him.
Candy a little bit in between right here. Nice late drop step. Gives him the room to make the play. Watch him. He starts to come. Drop step. Tram loves that. Knocked it down the hill, and he's got that strong arm across the diamond. Took his time. When you make a mistake, you want to take your time. Keep it slow. Don't panic. Make sure you pick it up. Get on top. Bullet.
Difficult to get in front of that one. 2 down. Here's Moncada, who doubled and scored to lead off the game. Swung at the very first pitch. Fires won't give him a chance here. Moncada a little bit more advanced from the left side of the plate than the right. 1-1. Top 10 in the league in exit velocity. Another one of those things they never kept while you were playing, Gibby, but it means he can turn on it. He can square it up nicely.
He's over 100. Ball comes off hot.
Swung through that one.
There you see it. It's exactly where Fires wanted it. Ball's up and in, right on the hands. Moncada cannot get his hands out like he wants it.
Just missed.
Like a little cutter right there. Just missed that on the outside corner. Good pitch after that ball up and in. See if Mike can get this target. That would be 3 in a row.
Got him.
There you
with
go.
a hook. 3 up, 3 down here in the second. Fires hopefully has settled in. He boasts his first strikeout. This time he holds the upper hand over the talented young White Sox infielder. And it's Reynaldo Lopez, who doesn't strike out a whole lot, Gibby, but in his last start, a complete, or I should say a career best 8 scoreless, allowing just 2 hits and 8 Ks.
And as I said, a lot more ground balls lately. James Shields, we'll see him in the series as well. He's on that list.
See him on Sunday against Blaine Hardy. Victor Martinez, Nico Goodrum, and John Hicks due up for Detroit. And Martinez's success against Chicago is well documented. 3 1/4 in his career against the White Sox. His 241 hits leads all active players. Made a bid there, and it's 1-1.
They've been shifting him for some time now, and now it's a little more modified because Victor has been hitting more balls to the left side of the diamond. Anderson would normally be over further to the pull side, but starting to cheat the other way, teams are.
Little nubber back to Lopez, and 1 down.
That was a number.
Sure was.
Can't get that saying out of my mind.
You're the one who planted the seed earlier this year.
Actually, Vin Scully did it again. I was watching a highlight and he used that term. So we've been seeing the impact they can have on a ball game.
All those great announcers. Here's Nico Goodrum, who, dare I say, was great the last time out for Detroit when he went 2 for 3 with a homer, a double, and walked as well. Sometimes you see young guys grow before your eyes. You might be seeing that with Nico Goodrum, who earlier this year seemed lost. Now the confidence is beaming.
The opportunity has awakened him.
Good point. This one hammered to right. Trey Thompson. And Trace Thompson's a good fielder. Nobody with really strong arms in that Chicago outfield. So Detroit, if and when they get on, will have a chance to run.
Got to get out of the box. The other thing about this field, it's changed since the last time that they played here. The grass is much thicker. So when you're running on the grass, the ball's going to bounce differently. Everything's come alive in about the last 10 days, 2 weeks. You see the moisture will stay in the infield dirt as well a little longer, so you have to adjust your slide distance based upon what that is. And when it's grassy like that, the ball usually won't go as far. If you dive at a ball in the outfield and just get a piece of it, it will stay fairly close.
Infielders like the dirt like this, or?
Well, they like the thick grass. I know that Sparky Anderson used to have it way higher. Yeah. He would say that the hitters got paid to hit balls in the gap and out of the park. He wanted to take care of his pitchers. Billy Martin made him mow it one day before a game.
But if you when you say the dirt, it keeps it a little more moist. I would guess infielders like that. Slows the ball down a little bit.
Yeah, well, as long as it's not so wet that it's skipping.
Right.
But the benefit of the moisture is if you see a divot and you go over there as a fielder and you pat it back in with the dirt and then tap it with your foot, it takes care of the divot. If it's a dry dirt, it doesn't do that. Just the divot comes back out as soon as the ball hits it again.
6 straight retired to start the game for Reynaldo Lopez.
A call to their bullpen early this weekend for their games against Baltimore. This is new and this is crazy. Sergio Romo, the veteran reliever, is slated to start Friday and Sunday. It's not the first time the Rays have done this. Last weekend, Romo started back-to-back games against the Angels, while reliever Ryan Stanek will start Saturday's game for the Rays. It's a unique way of approaching baseball, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah, 1950s style when they did it through the whole game, but basically what they're doing is trying to eliminate the third time through by the starting pitcher. That's a statistic that stands out boldly. The third at bat by the hitter against the starting pitcher is not good for the starting pitcher, so they're going to get their outs early by their matchups. We get a leadoff pop out here and then fill it in with the starters. We'll see what happens if they get into extra inning games after they've used a couple of relievers, though, huh?
Why is it the third time through?
It's the data suggests. I mean, it's documented data that the third time through, most pitchers are more susceptible to the hitter. They start to make mistakes. The hitter's seen many pitches, and boom.
With one down, Jose Abreu. Run scoring double, and then was plated by Tim Anderson's RBI single. And that's where we stand 2-0. Abreu 4 straight years, 25 bombs or more. This one scalded between third and short for another base hit. 100 RBIs or more, an 820 OPS in the first 4 years of his career. Only DiMaggio 36 through 39 and Pujols 01 through 04 have done that. That is big time company.
Yeah, when you look at the history of the game, to only have 3 gentlemen do that stands out. I'll tell you about Abreu, when he starts feeling good too, if you don't watch him over there, he'll get a walking lead on you and he'll go. He'll stand over there and just set you up.
Palka grounded to Nico Goodrum at second, his first time up.
Now he stands there and he acts like he's really relaxed, and then all of a sudden he'll just take off.
I'm not sure James McCann would care if he did.
Oh, he's got some bags in his career. Only one this year and has not been thrown out. When he goes, he makes it.
McCann has thrown 7 would-be base stealers out, second most in the American League. Only Jonathan Lucroy.
That's Buchanan.
Yeah. Lucroy's thrown out 10. Good backhand stab by McCann there.
And Fires is doing a good job. You see he's holding the ball. McCann right here gets the glove close.
Tough on a short hop.
Breaking ball. Breaking balls, they kind of have an idea where they're going. A fastball, no, those are very tough.
Whew. Fires wanted that one, and you can understand why. It's 2-2.
Let's take a look at that pitch. It looked like he tried to backdoor it. Did he get part of it? Ooh, tight outside corner so far.
Good frame job too. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Second strikeout of the night for Mike Fires. And there's 2 down.
Nice changeup.
Stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, where we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, as presented by McDonald's. Tim Anderson. Good start for Fires.
Amazing. Now Chicago not swinging at the first pitch. Now you look at the 49 pitches here, the top of the 3rd inning. Sometimes teams want to now start taking some pitches, get that pitch count up, get into that bullpen.
Just 10 pitches in this inning. Nice off speed. And it's 0-2. Here's the breakdown from Mike Fires through the first 2 2/3.
Second, third so far okay. First inning, a struggle.
Laborsome. 0-2 pitch. Late swing fouled it back. Anderson's got 7 bombs this year, so he's got some pop.
He swings it, got a quick bat. Been struggling as of late.
Missed high. "17 homers a year ago for Anderson, ranked 6th among AL shortstops." The 1-2 pitch. No, Fire's going to step off for a moment. Make sure he and McCann are on the same page. Did he check it? Yes, he did.
I don't think it went out in front of the plate.
I don't either.
Pretty strong to stop that bat.
Not easy, is it?
A lot of risks get hurt that way as well in this game. Just imagine it's less than a blink of an eye to make a decision to swing, and then you got to try and stop it in a blink.
Curveball got him. Fires has started to find the rhythm. Tigers offense needs to help him a little bit. Has gone under the radar a little bit. Detroit with at least 1 double in 40 straight games. They have 108 on the year, at least 1 in 40 straight games. That's the 2nd best in franchise history, second only to, yeah, that's right, 1924. Folks, Ty Cobb was playing that.
No number.
No number.
Wool. Had the wool on too, huh?
Yeah, that must have been
How would that
heavy
be today?
in the summer.
They say
Arguably the greatest hitter ever.
You think Ty Cobb is a better hitter than Ted Williams?
I said arguably.
You don't want to argue right now?
Joe DiMaggio's in that conversation. Tony Gwynn is in that conversation.
About Rod Carew.
Oh, I loved watching Rod Carew hit.
He didn't hit for the power.
No, he did not. But neither did Ty Cobb.
Well, see, you would know Ty Cobb better than I would. You're older.
Oh, man, I walked right into that, didn't I? Those statues are gorgeous out there in left center field, aren't they?
They are, and there'll be some more.
Now, it's not my money, but I'd like to see more. Yes, I would like to see more.
Mr. Kaline, Mr. Horton.
There are 6 out there. Cobb, Greenberg, Gehringer, Newhouser as well. Legends.
Ball was coming our way, Shep.
2 of your teammates are now legends in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Alan Trammell and Jack Morris. And Call to the Hall will be airing on Fox Sports Detroit later on tonight. You want to watch that, folks. It's about those 2 incredible Tiger greats. McCann swings through an inside curveball, and there's one down. And I just brought that up. Call to the Hall, Trammell, Morris, Gibby's in it as well. Catch Call to the Hall following Tigers Live postgame tonight, 2:30 p.m. tomorrow as well. After Tigers Live postgame Sunday evening on Fox Sports Detroit. The thing that surprised me most about that show is Jack Morris is the first pitcher in history to win 3 World Series with 3 different teams. I did not know that. He's not the first player, but he's the first pitcher. That stunned me.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I didn't realize it, but he was a great pitcher when this guy just, all he thought about was win. He never pouted. Somebody made an error, score. He'd just come in and say, give me some runs.
Yeah, he was a tough son of a gun, though, man.
Yeah, he was.
He and Sparky Anderson had some battles, didn't they?
Yeah, the one day Sparky went to take him out in about the 8th inning, and Jack flipped the ball. Sparky wasn't quite there, and Sparky pulled his hand back, and it dropped on the ground. Sparky said, pick that ball up, young man. And he did.
Nice.
Said, Sparky used to always wag his finger. No, 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 young man. You never wanted to see that finger, like.
Well, he wagged it at you, didn't he?
Well, yeah, when he was pinch hit for me. Come on back here.
That wasn't very often, though. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Jose Iglesias.
So walk.
He'll take it.
Well,
first base runner of the night for the Tigers.
He did it more than you'd think, because he knew it'd crush you. So he wanted to make sure you knew that he had the gavel.
He was in charge. There's a fine balance there, though, right? I think Ron Gardner has the same thing.
I think Gardy.
You got to allow the veterans to have their space a little bit, but it's still your ship that you're steering.
You
correct?
still have to keep them in check. I went to the Economic Club luncheon today. All the Tigers were there.
Yeah.
That showed me some respect for Gardy and the organization, and things are heading in the right direction for sure.
Enjoyed it. It's a good meal too, wasn't it?
Very good, and we had a good. Rod did a great interview with Gardy.
And Nick Castellanos did some interviews.
He had Greeny had the line of the day.
He did. That was great.
He was. They kept asking him first with the questions. Finally, he said, "I'm the closer."
Yeah, he pleaded with his teammates, guys, I'm supposed to be the closer here. Fulmer, Jacoby Jones up there on stage as well with Leonis Martin. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There goes Iglesias, a little hit and run. He's got to hurry back. Trace Thompson backpedals. He'll fire to first, and it is in time for a double play. They had the hit and run on, and Jose Iglesias couldn't quite get back in time. Damage avoided by the White Sox. They're up 2-0. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
We're going to look at the base running here by Jose Iglesias. It appears to be a hit run. He does the right thing. He stops and he peeks, but you have to peek earlier. He did not see the ball initially, did not get back in time. It's usually about 3 or 4 steps in a peek, and there I counted it in between innings. That was 9 steps. So clean that up a little bit. Good idea. Tigers haven't been scoring. Put a man in motion. I liked it all. Just clean that up a little bit. And Iggy's really passionate about his base running, and he'd want not to be doubled off, but on we go.
Narvaez, Engel, and Tilson for Chicago. Narvaez walked back in the first and was left stranded there. Narvaez behind the dish for his 17th start of the year, and of course, Gibby, Chicago without Wellington Castillo, an 80-game suspension because of the PEDs. Came out, owned it. My mistake, apologized to his team, and he's going to lose 80 games and lose a lot of money too.
Yeah, you know, what do you think of that? I mean, I wonder what everybody thinks. What more can he do? Rick Renteria, the manager, puts him in a tough situation, all of his teammates.
Sure.
You want to stick behind your teammate, but at the same time you would expect that not to happen. I mean, I haven't heard of anything that he made a mistake accidentally. It seemed like intentional.
Yeah, well, remember it happened to Robinson Cano earlier this year, and Alex Wilson, Justin Verlander, others came out and were pretty critical of it. There's a walk to Narvaez. Let's welcome in Johnny Kane. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You know, of course, the Tigers here embarking on their longest homestand of the season. They went 2-5 on the road, and you know what Ron Gardner said earlier today, sometimes, you know, you can have some doozy of road trips, which they've had, and he said, you know, sometimes they can wear you down, but it's here at home where you want to be able to take care of business. They've been a pretty good baseball team at home, you know, playing 2 games above 500 here at Comerica Park. This is a big stretch here, 12 straight, and also 18 of the next 21. So they want to make a little bit of hay here in the Central Division. It'll come to this stretch right here.
Well, Johnny, here's the other thing. They're going to play 16 games in 15 days because, as you mentioned in Tigers Live, the double dip against the Yankees. That's not easy either, right?
No, it's not. I mean, in 12 games in 11 days, however you want to shred it.
Right.
I mean, I think we're getting, as the weather has kind of cleared for us, hopefully we're getting past these double headers because they've had their fair share of them. But you want to get back into just routines, not just for the guys, not just for your pitching staff, but for everybody. Get healthy, get into a routine, and hopefully these guys can start making some traction.
Yeah, and those teams that they face upcoming, Ron Gartenhire answered your question earlier in his office about the difficult challenge they present. They get the Angels 4 times. They're 28-22 down. They get Toronto in town. Then that double dip against the Yankees, who are 31-15. Boston comes calling after that, 34-15. Then it's Cleveland. And the Tribe may be 500, but we know about their record against the Tigers in the series. So this is where the ultimate tests come for this franchise this season.
Why not reverse the Cleveland spell?
Why not?
I mean, it's going to happen someday.
Beat them 2 out of 3 last time, right?
Yeah, so I know in the past Cleveland's been fairly dominant, but they appear to be a different team as well. Tigers find themselves in an interesting situation.
Scalded just past Candelario. Narvaez holds at second. Chicago has the first 2 runners on here in the 4th. Spend Memorial Day at Comerica Park when the Tigers take on the LA Angels of Anaheim. Enjoy great savings with the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, and 4 sodas for as little as $20 a person. For tickets, go to tigers.com/value. And there's a lot to see with that Angels team too. Simmons and Trout and
Justin Upton
and Ian Kinsler. I mean, it's a good baseball team, isn't it?
Well, they are. They're not in first place yet.
No.
And they're an exciting team. They can be beaten, don't you think?
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes
every team can.
You know, you've heard the old saying of "Don't read your press clippings," right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to read the other teams either.
Good bunt. Fires jumps off the mound, plays it to third. Heads up play by Fires to get the lead runner. Narvaez is not a speed demon by any stretch. And there's the first out of the frame.
Excellent job. We laid out purposely. You can hear James McCann right here, 3-3-3. He knows immediately to get himself in position. There's Mr. McCann.
Well, great communication, huh?
Well,
it's one of the most underrated things, I think, in sports, is the ability to communicate effectively like that.
Well, your back's to the play, so you're trusting your teammate right there. I mean, he hears 3-3-3. He situated his feet so he could come up and make an accurate throw. And that's not an easy play.
Trace Thompson, double steal attempt, and successful for the White Sox.
It's a good time to do it after a play like that.
Why is that?
Because they're just thinking about the play. He had first and second. He just handled the bunt, just checked him, and he was prepared to do it. They probably had seen this in some tape. You see the huge jump by Engel.
Remember, Rick Renteria's team leads the major leagues in stolen bases. That's number 42 and 43. They're also third in the majors in success.
If you're Fires right now, you got to go for the strikeout.
Yep.
Tigers have the infield in, meaning if one goes through, you're giving them an extra run. So they're going to cut this run down. They're going to keep it close. Ron Gardenhire has looked at Reynaldo Lopez and said, this guy's on tonight, and we're not going to let him have any more runs. We're going to keep it tight.
Fires in a good situation here, 0-2 to the number 9 hitter. Chicago may be good at stealing bases, but they struggle mightily with runners in scoring position, 25th in the majors.
Let's keep that true.
Keep that trend moving that way if you're Mike Fires. Ready for the 1-2 pitch. Stopped by McCann. You've probably familiarized yourself a little bit with Trace Thompson, whose brother is Klay Thompson, plays for the Golden State Warriors, who lost last night in Houston and now trail 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals.
Pretty good athletes, aren't they?
Yeah, his father was a heck of a basketball player, especially with the Lakers winning championships there. The 2-2 pitch to him. An excuse me swing foul. Interesting with one out. Iglesias, Goodrum, Candelario, Hicks, even with the bag for the most part.
Yeah, I was watching Engel take his secondary lead off of third base. Be a good guy with a little communication, maybe get a pick down there. Pretty aggressive. Let's take a look right here. You see Candyman not too far off. You got the runner. I have no telestrator tonight, so I could scratch it with my nail in there. Would you see it? And Engel is just very aggressive right down the line. He's right on the line though, so he's trying to cover the throw. Should they throw it, it should hit him. So you probably would not throw it.
It's tough with those manicured nails, you know.
You a petty guy?
I am not.
Manny Petty?
I am not.
Never.
Clippers and bite them.
Doesn't shock me.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Thompson pops it foul. Gibby reaches over. Oh.
How about Star Wars?
I've seen one, and my family forced me to go, and I will never see another.
Why is that?
Not my kind of thing.
So what would you go to?
Give me a Clint Eastwood movie. Is that all right?
Or a ball game?
Or a ball game.
That a boy.
Or the movie Miracle. I'd take that one.
It's a good one.
Yep. And if I want to laugh, give me Major League. How about Hoosiers? Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball, foul. Thompson hanging tough.
How about The Jerk?
No, I've been called that, but I'm
Liar,
not
liar.
going to watch it. That too.
The elevator scene?
All right. You're just trying to get me in trouble now. Oh, boy.
Best line of all time.
One of them.
Just think of that. You can't tell a lie. Boy, we'd have a lot of people rolling around.
Yes, we would. Yeah. Especially on this crew. 2-2 pitch. Punched to right. In for a base hit. 1 run scores. And the White Sox have now runners at the corner. Trace Thompson with his 4th RBI of the year to give the Pale Hose a 3-0 lead.
Trace Thompson comes in 091 versus right-handers. Good at bat, stays in there. I think Mike wanted to get this up a little higher, just takes it the other way. You can see Nick was way over towards the line. However, they do just give them 1 run.
It's a really good at bat by Trace Thompson, don't you think?
I do.
.73 pitches thrown by Mike Fiers, and he's not through 4 yet. He's gone 6 innings or more in every start in his career against Chicago. Now I know it's a small sample size, 4, but still. Moncada swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. Remember, that first pitch was delivered to right center field of the ball game, a double back in the first. He ended up scoring on Jose Abreu's RBI double.
I believe he swung at the first pitch 2 out of 3 at bats so far.
You're right. Thompson with decent speed at first. Good pitch by Fiers to get ahead of the count. 0-2.
75 pitches by inning. 21 this in the 4th. Not out of it yet. Only 1 out. Double play is in order. Now, if Thompson takes off, what do you do? Do you pump fake it? One of your infielders, middle guys, Goodrum or Iglesias, has got to vacate.
You got to throw it down. Big swing, but a pop up.
Martin needs to call this.
He will. That's a big out there for Fiers. And look at how quickly Martin gets the ball in.
You know why?
Sure. Earlier this year, and Ron Gardenhire held him accountable. Martin knew it too, and Ron Gardenhire says, you know what, he embarrassed himself.
Well, Leonis has a very good arm, and sometimes you dare people. And he got schooled. They did the old, I'm not going, I'm tagging up, I'm walking off. Then he did the stop and go, and then Leonis tried to double clutch, and it's hard to be very accurate. And we'll take a look at it. See, he's just like, no, you're not going to go. And that's the old stop and go. It's hard to make an accurate throw like that. He's got the strong throw.
He's got a great arm. There it was on display in Seattle. And look, I mean, guys are going to make mistakes. For sure. It's how you learn from those mistakes.
He's played very well.
Yeah,
he's
sure has.
Very enthusiastic, and it's not being critical. It just shows you what can happen.
He's been so much better, I think, than anybody ever expected him to be. And, you know, there's something to be said for clubhouse chemistry as well. And I think he really does a nice job of keeping that in line, similar to what Torrey Hunter did here. And he'll get another chance on his horse, drifting back. Sanchez fouled out to him, or flied out to him, and Mike Fiers. There's a little bit of damage done by Chicago. Could have been a lot worse, though. 3-zip, White Sox. Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. By Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's the Chevy Memorial Day sales event. Start your summer off right in a new Chevrolet. My son just did that today. Just closed on a brand new Chevy Malibu. Look at that.
That's how it works, huh?
That's how it works. As long as he's paying for it, not me. 3-0.
Excellent.
White Sox lead it. Bottom of the fourth. Top of the order for the Tigers. Leonis Martin, Nick Castellanos, and Jeimer Candelario trying to get to Ronaldo Lopez.
I want to clean those comments up that we were talking about some of these mistakes. Like, we show those for clarification. And this, if you're a ball player, you want to be a ball player, it's like I hope it's like a classroom, you know what I mean? So these are things both teams can do. Does it make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, ball players are used to it, Gary. I mean,
yeah, well,
you were used to it in football and in baseball, where you know what's the old phrase? Film don't lie, right?
Well, but I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just trying to show, if you're a guy and you're on third base, this is something you might use.
Hammered to right, and Martin is on with the first base hit of the night for the Tigers, here to lead off the fourth.
My guy.
Tigers wrap up their series with the White Sox this Sunday, May 27th at 1:10. It's Sunday Kids Day. First 10,000 fans receive a free Nicholas Castellanos bobblehead. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Castellanos saw that life-size bobblehead outside Comerica Park when he came back from this afternoon's luncheon. He tried to pop the bubble, and everyone's saying, no, Nick, you can't do that. Don't pop the bubble. I thought he said something really interesting at that luncheon. We'll get to that here in a moment. First pitch swinging, and he fouled it back. When he asked his teammates, Jacoby Jones, Leonis Martin, Shane Green, Michael Fulmer, the guys who maybe gave them some admiration, characteristics that they would like to implement, when they all went around and answered, they then asked Castellanos, and he said, look, I take a little bit from everybody. Torrey Hunter, J.D. Martinez,
Miggy.
Justin Verlander, Miggy, even Jacoby Jones with his energy. I try to feed off and learn from everybody in that regard. I thought it was a pretty mature answer. It's the 0-1 pitch. Punch to right. That's going to drop in. Yes, it is. And Martin's speed will take him all the way to third. Castellanos digs for second. He slides in safely, and the Tigers got something brewing here in the fourth.
Well, Nick continues to pound the ball. If you look at his spray charts,
It's my guy.
More the other way, and he does the same thing. Stays on this. And look at his bat path. He stays inside of the ball. Martin gets a very good read on this ball. Now from up here, it looked like he might catch it, but he had a good peek at it. He knows he's not going to get it. On his way to third, and Nick quickly on to second.
Castellanos with that double out of the box, Gibby. Out of the box, thinking two in scoring position for Jeimer Candelario.
Yeah, you don't have to be fast. Just be as efficient as you can with what you got. Run a good route. Come right out of the gate.
Fastball in tight.
So if you were racing somebody and I said, and Mark gets set and held it, would you jump, you think?
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Just outside.
Now here's Nick right here. He's going to take a swing. You got to, those first steps, you got to really get on it. You hit that ball and you go right away. You put your head down, pump those arms. Reads the ball and on his way.
Popped it up. Anderson or Sanchez? It'll be Anderson. One down.
Well, what you're seeing here, you can watch Chicago. If you want a ground ball or if you want a strikeout, you're going to see a lot of people believe that you throw the ball inside. And that's what happened right there. They just stayed in on Candy. Couldn't get the barrel out.
Victor Martinez who feasts on Chicago pitching in his career. Chance to deliver a big blow here. 121 RBIs in his career against the White Sox. That leads all active hitters in the American League. Gets by, and here comes Martin with the first run of the night for the Tigers. It's got to be a wild pitch by Lopez.
Good read here. This ball can come off this back wall hot, but Martin makes a good read right here. He's on his way quickly. He knows he's got it. Nick up to third. Here you see them both. You're on second. You got to read the guy on third. Guy in third stops and you're on your way. You're in trouble, but they did a great job. Nick's having a good trip around the bases. Let's get him in and bring this game to a run, or maybe a big fly and a tie.
And such a big moment right there, because now a sacrifice fly gets him home to pull within one. Let's see if Martinez can deliver the 1-0 pitch. Foul back.
Infield alignment is much different with the guy on third base. No shift. We got the infield about halfway in, not all the way in, because Victor does not have the speed. That's about halfway.
A couple of games ago, Martinez 2 for 3 with an RBI. Swings through an off-speed pitch to make it 1-2.
One of the few changeups he's thrown tonight. Pulled that one out of the back pocket.
Lopez has been really good. His one-loss record wouldn't indicate it, 1-3, but teams are batting just $188 against him. At least Detroit is, anyway. And he has a 1.16 whip in his career against the Tigers.
Coming in again.
Grounder to second. Castellanos going to try to score, and he will. Moncada will take the sure out. Martinez delivers the run. It's 3-2 White Sox.
Good job. Good break by Nick. Moncada thought about going home, but he took the sure out. Look at Nick on his way. You got to make a perfect throw to get him, and so he took his out. Victor, good job, got him in.
Is that one of those situations where the runner is going on contact?
He read that a little bit right there. I think if it's the first baseman who's in or the third baseman who's in, you'd probably hold up. So you're looking up the middle to go, and on the edges you probably hold up.
Nico Goodrum fooled there. It's 1-1. Menards brings you the big money encounter. This one blows your mind. First rookie in Tigers history with 5 homers and 5 steals before the end of May. This is an original American League charter member, this franchise, and Nico Goodrum is the first rookie to ever do this before the end of May. Grounder to Moncada, and the White Sox are finally out of the inning, but the Tigers played a couple. They pulled within 1 on Fox Sports Detroit. who was born on a military base, had a lot of people in his family serve this great nation, and is a big believer in everything that stands for Stars and Stripes. Always enjoyed talking with Alex Wilson, not just about baseball, but about life in general, and he speaks reverently about the 5 current family members who have served our country. 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the White Sox.
Very appreciative. Get to do what we do, and the players down here, and everybody in the stands, and hopefully everybody appreciates the sacrifice that we really need to make for each other. I was down at a function for some of our wounded warriors in Atlanta last weekend, and it's an amazing story.
Good for
it's
you.
What our country is all about.
I was at a golf outing earlier this week at Selfridge, where they paired LPGA players with military women to play the track there.
How'd that go? You didn't have to play, right?
It's fantastic. I did play. Really enjoyed it. The 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging.
Good pitch there.
That's the 4th strikeout of the night from Mike Fiers. Alex Wilson, of course, injured. Here's some of the others. Matt Boyd not expected to miss a start.
Miggy maybe by the end
He did run a little bit today.
Yeah.
He's been fielding grounders, Gibby, but he did run a little bit today.
Maybe the Angels.
Yeah, maybe.
Jordan
Nice
and
to
Alex
see.
are going to throw, I believe, in Toledo next week.
Won't see Norris for a while, of course. Boy, Miguel Cabrera looked sharp at that luncheon today, too, didn't he? Really good looking outfit. Palka, strikeout victim, back in the 3rd. 1-1 now.
Looking for that fastball. He struck out on the changeup. He's got another one there. Maybe get ready to eat another one of those. Keep it down and away. He won't touch it.
Tapped it foul.
Slow and slower. Talking about Miggy earlier today. Tigers a lot of work going on the field, just working on his form. Joseph right there working with him. So he's got that hamstring. Looking like he's ready to fly.
This one flown in the right corner, and it is fair off the wall. Castellanos quickly to it. Throws it in, and it is going to be a close play at second. They got him! Palka got greedy, and Castellanos denied him of a double.
Boy, Nick, good job. Really starting to feel comfortable out there, and the outfield plays this perfectly off the wall. Look at him, he's positioned there, right into the glove. He's got the body turn on the money, and a good tag. Should you go? Should you not go? A little bobble here at first base. I think I'm going to go for it. Too late. Has a great tag, and I don't know if anybody noticed how Iglesias.
Anderson sends one deep to left. Jones looks up, and it is gone. 8th homer of the year for the White Sox shortstop. Back up to a 2-run lead for the visitors.
Sat on that changeup. Got to get yourself back up. That's a stunner. You get a couple runs, you're within 1, make a good play.
Yeah, you feel like you dodged a bullet moments ago, and then Anderson comes up and greets you with this swing.
Well, just look how important that is. It's like a hanging slider right there. Look how important the Castellanos play is now in the Iglesias tag.
Right.
Instead of a 2-run, that's a 1-run.
This one fisted to shallow left. Iglesias makes up a lot of ground, but the White Sox are back on the board. Tim Anderson, who had 17 bombs a year ago, hits his 8th this year, and it's 4-2 visitors. game, a wild one. Look what happened here in the first. The pitch skips off Salvador Perez's glove, bounds off Shin-Soo Chu's face. Perez wisely picks it up and throws out Delano DeShields at second base.
Strike on the money, Shelby. He plays good against everybody, one of the best.
Yeah, he's got a hose, no doubt.
Accurate.
Hicks, McCann, and Iglesias due up for Ron Gardenhire's Tigers. They trail by 2. Hicks struck out swinging back in the second. Swings through that off-speed pitch. 1-1. Ron Gardenhire, 129 career wins against the White Sox, the most in the American League since 1969. This one punched to left. That should drop, and a base hit for John Hicks. Others on that list, by the way, Billy Martin, former Tigers manager, and Sparky Anderson as well. When I asked Ron Gardenhire why the success, he said, and I kind of knew where he was going. Well, I had good teams.
They're good players.
Yeah.
That's what they always say.
Right. Well, that's what good managers do. They give credit to their players, and there's
and coaches.
Yeah, and coaches. You're right. And there's the list right there. Just so you know, Connie Mack had more wins against the White Sox than anybody in history. 544 for Connie Mack alone. It's nuts.
How many games did he manage?
I couldn't tell you. Remember, you're older than me, so you saw it.
Yeah, no, it's the other way around. We got a stats guy that's going to look. I know.
Yeah.
Had to be 2,000. Said he had
544 wins against them.
So I'm going to say he had 1,500 to 2,000 games. Just a guess.
Warwick Saupold warming up in the Tigers pen.
Got that bridge situation right now. Plus,
That's right.
we got to get the lead.
A 1 pitch to James McCann. Grounder wide of third. Nice play by Sanchez. Can they turn it? They do. That's a really difficult around the horn 5-4-3 double play.
Again, to watch the White Sox, they're throwing a lot of balls inside when guys get on base. You get the double play ball, you get the ground ball, and you get the strikeout.
Sanchez will not wow you with his arm. He's probably not going to win a Gold Glove either, but he is a very dependable third baseman.
Little chin music there. Iglesias walked his first time up.
1-1. Just outside.
Now, you're an outfielder here. It's getting twilight. Look at the flags up there. Not doing much, right? There's
Pretty
flags.
still.
There's
Yep.
flags all around. There's center. I'm looking at the one way out over in downtown Detroit.
It's blowing pretty good out there.
Well, that's on top of a building, so I don't think it's going to. But just you want to make sure you know what's going down. You don't want to get taken. Right now, the sky is starting to get a little crazy. You can lose it for a second. The ball can take off on you.
Is it a difficult sky for an outfielder right now?
It's getting there. It's just one of those things. The lights are just starting to take effect. You have a blue sky. There's a little bit of haze, it looks like, on the horizon.
Base hit for Iglesias. Takes a strong turn. He's going to try to stretch it into 2. And he is out of there.
Came off the bag. Gardy's taking a look at it. He did come off, but did he tag him? He went to the inside. Good slide. When he came off, did he keep the glove on him?
He did.
He came off?
Yep.
Yeah, they're not going to review.
Second base umpire Pat Hoberg was right on it. A little bit before giving up the home run in the 5th to make it back to a 2-run lead for Chicago. Fires remains in the game. He'll face Adam Engel, Charlie Tilson, and Trace Thompson, the 7, 8, 9 men in this Chicago order. Skied down the right field line. Castellanos giving chase and made the grab. What a catch by Castellanos.
Got to keep your eye on the ball. You know about where you're at. Outstretched arms.
Love the high five.
Here's a picture for you. When you're at home like this, you don't want to get your hands outside of the wall. You want to give Nick a chance to catch that?
I love that dude comes out of nowhere. Look at, hey, I thought about catching it. Nah, I'm going to save my beer instead. Give me something. That's great.
There's 3 people wanted a high five. He got one.
That is beautiful. We were talking with Castellanos. Johnny Kane and I were talking Castellanos earlier today and asked him, there's our man, asking him about Al Kaline and the influence Al Kaline has on him. This one nubbed, hustling his fires, and it's going to be an infield hit for Tilson. And Castellanos said, yeah, I mean, I like to think Al Kaline's my friend, but I can tell you this, every time we talk, I learn something from him. I would guess, Gibby, you did the same.
Oh, you kidding me? First of all, I was in awe. I grew up here in the Detroit area. Got down there, Al Kaline, I thought, man, this guy looks like he can still play. And soon after that, he was my teacher. And he had a way about himself. And, of course, I'd watched the way that he moved, and he had credibility with me. But I had to get credibility with him. And he stuck with me, and I became at least serviceable. Covered up my weaknesses good enough with Mr. Kaline's help.
Arguably the greatest right fielder in history. Roberto Clemente's in that conversation. When I was a kid, I enjoyed watching Dwight Evans play that position. Jesse Barfield, Dave Parker, those guys all very good. And great arms too, by the way. Evans was really good for Boston, but couldn't hit like Al Kaline could.
No. Look at that
High
ball.
pop up. Candelario's got a beat on it. 2 down. Hey, Tigers fans, you can catch the games on TV. You can catch, if you can't catch them on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Made available by T-Mobile.
Do that on your boat too.
As soon as you have me out on your boat, I'll do that.
You work too much.
Well played. Moncada stands in for the 4th time. Did they get him at first? Pretty close. Pretty close. Good move by Fires. Nice tag by Hicks.
Hicks looked into the dugout. They're probably taking a look there. Take a peek. It's worth a look, isn't it?
Caught him leaning a little bit. That is really close.
It's going to be slower than that to find out. I don't think they're going to do it.
Moncada 1 for 3 with a run scored back in the first. Couldn't pull the trigger. Against right-handed pitchers, Moncada is batting .303. All of his 7 homers and 17 of his 19 ribbies have come against righties this year. Outside.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. High of 91, low of 70. Fastball, curveball. 94 pitches here in the 6th inning for Mike.
First time this year he's walked 2 batters in a game, though. Way out in front, 1-2.
Good breaking pitch right there. Kept it down in the zone. Moncada loves the heater. Mike knows it. James McCann knows it. They're trying to keep it slow. If you hang it, he'll still bang it. Kept it down that time. You see him way out on that front foot. I don't know that I would challenge him with the fastball on the plate.
Moncada was Baseball America's Minor League Player of the Year in 2016. Waits on the 1-2 offering. Warwick Saupold has worked enough in that Tigers pen to be warmed up. Anderson looks on. Rick Anderson, the bullpen coach. Ron Gardenhire very complimentary of his staff at that luncheon today, including Rick Anderson, who he predicted when they played together, said, one day I'm going to manage and Rick Anderson's going to be my pitching coach. It's a cool story.
And he is.
Yep. There he is. Watching Warwick Saupold warm up a little bit. Chris Bozzi, of course, the pitching coach for this team. And I think he's done a wonderful job. Good stop by McCann, but it's now full on Juan Moncada. McCann had a nice story at the luncheon. Somebody had asked him a question about the support he's gotten from Michiganders after he and his wife celebrated the birth of their twin boys, and McCann almost got choked up a little bit and talked about how special it is playing here in front of these folks and getting those types of well wishes.
Lots of support.
Walked him. 3 walks issued by Mike Fiers. Folks, just 7 on the year coming in. And now Ron Gardenhire has seen enough. Pitching change. Warwick Saupold comes in. He'll inherit a runner at first and second with his team trailing 4-2. Mike Fiers' night is done in the opener of this 3-game series against the White Sox. We'll take a look at Saupold's numbers when we return after this. on the season, relieving Mike Fiers here with a runner at first and second and 2 down.
There's a big at bat right here. Tigers do not want to go down anymore in the 2 runs.
Elmer Sanchez, there's a turn and throw, and it gets by Iglesias. That allows both runners to move up.
Kind of a quick throw right there. You got to try and make it accurately. Ball sailed on softball. Look at Iggy going in behind him. Ball is towards the first base side, and the runners move up. Now you got to get this out here. It's a good try. Trying to counteract the White Sox being aggressive on the bases.
And before you start to think, well, just walk him to make an easy play at any base, Jose Abreu stands on deck. So that's kind of out of the mix. There's a line drive to Goodrow. 1 pitch, and he gets the out. And the Tigers remain 2 back.
Are going to turn out. But what you like about what you're seeing from the Tigers tonight and these days is the aggression that they're playing with under Ron Gardenhire.
Absolutely. I really love the aggression that they're running the bases with these days. Iglesias running the bases, Nicholas Castellanos also running the bases. But you have to do so because the White Sox team, they don't win a lot of games, Jan, but what they do, they run the bases very aggressive. They've stolen 43 bags this year.
Shep, Gibby.
All right, fellas, thanks very much. And they also know that Ronaldo Lopez works really fast. And now, as we move toward the top of the Tigers lineup here in the 6th, we get to a 3rd time through the order against Lopez. And it is significant. And the reason it's significant is because opponents are batting just a $111 against him. 3rd time through the lineup. That is best in Major League Baseball. 111.
So you'd believe that they would leave him in.
Absolutely.
You know, you're into the playoffs, into the extra season, so to say. That's why you're watching pitchers that seemingly are okay get yanked from the game.
Martin touched him for a single back in the 4th. Led the inning off with that base knock and then would later score. That's when Detroit plated both their runs in that 4th inning. Martin and Castellanos scoring. 2-1-2.
Leonis looking better at the plate tonight. Grounded out in the 1st. Had a single. Table setter. Top of the order. Get it going for the big boys behind.
And get some speed on the base pass. Swings through a fastball. 2-2.
94 miles an hour, up and away. It's a lot of good action on those pitches.
High cheese, as you used to call it.
Yeah, those balls sail a little bit at the end. Going to keep working him away.
Missed.
Little change up there, fastball, and then he went change up in the same location. See the signs here, they're doing a little deke on the equipment first.
He'll take the free pass. A one-out walk to Leonis Martin. Let's take a look at our cricket smile. Nick Castellanos, his hustle, rewarded with the out, and rewarded with a high five from a Tiger faithful. I like to smile on Castellanos right there.
And Nick's not an uptight player at all.
No, he's not.
He really stays level-headed, steady.
Hitting streak now at 5, Gibby.
It would be unlike us, eh?
Oh, no, I disagree.
You wouldn't be keyed up out there?
Absolutely. I think it's what makes baseball so wonderful is the chance to get close to the fans like that. I'll never forget when I was a kid, I was on the on-deck circle. I saw Lance Parrish on the on-deck circle. I was right behind him, like the second row, second row, right on the railing there at Tiger Stadium. And I turned to my father and I said, I can see Lance Parrish's chain and medallion. It was that close. It was so cool. And that's what baseball gives you. Netting or not, you're right there.
Don't think Leonis would be going anywhere. You have the first baseman Abreu holding Martin on. It gives Nick that added free space over there to hit the ball through. And then you watch, the White Sox have been throwing him inside. I got to believe they're going to go slider away somewhere.
Castellanos doubled and scored in the 4th, and he went the other way on that 2-base hit in an 0-2 hole. Castellanos during this 5-game stretch, 454. He's now 12 for his last 32 after hitting 367 on the recent road trip. He's got 60 hits on the year. That's top 10 in the American League.
Good spot for a dinger to right center, right over the Meyer sign.
Beautiful. Instead, back up the box and through for a base hit. Here's Johnny Kane. Hey, Johnny.
Yeah, Jeimer Candelario coming to the dish right now, Shep. And, you know, I talked to him earlier today. Remember, he's out since May 13th with what they officially diagnosed as tendonitis in that left wrist. And I said, is that something that you can alleviate as the season moves along, or just something you have to play through? He said, right now it feels good. And right now I'm just trying to do some exercise to try to strengthen it so that I can stay healthy throughout the entire season. And you alluded to it earlier on about Doug Minkiewicz and Ron Gardner having a discussion. Of course, he played the 2 games with the Mud Hens just earlier this week, and basically Minkiewicz said he's swinging it good from the right side, swinging it good from the left side, face both the right and left-handed pitchers. So they feel like Jeimer Candelario will be back to the same type of production level he had before. And one other thing on that is, you know, with Gardy, he said, you know, we already had him scheduled to come up here to be a part of that banquet that you and Gibby were at. He said we decided to keep him up here, and I hope he's ready to go because I'm batting him 3 tonight.
Yeah, they're going to come in again.
Candelario also said he's icing that wrist an awful lot too, just in case. This one pulled and right to Abreu. Can't double him up. Castellanos a heads-up, head-first slide, but Candelario tattooed that one.
This is not justice right here. They're playing behind Nick at first base. Just a rocket. He did everything right. They came in. He was prepared. Good job of getting back and not doubled off by Nick. Keeps it alive and up to Victor.
Well, Victor Martinez maybe getting a 5th home run of the season and putting Detroit in front, huh?
Nice. Pull it down the line.
You got Martin, Goodrum, Castellanos, Candelario, Hicks, all with 5 bombs to lead the way for the Tigers this year.
I'll just take a little single. Let's get one, and then we'll go to the next. Let's keep the lineup moving.
Little duck snort.
Change up.
Martin on second. At first is Nick Castellanos. 5th straight multi-hit game for Castellanos. 20th on the year. By far and away the most on the Tigers. And among the best in the American League, too. Lopez trying to work out of a jam. Ground ball to second. Moncada had him played perfectly. The Tigers threaten but do not score. We're through 6. Tigers trail by 2. Daniel Palka and Tim Anderson all have done some damage here on this Friday night alongside Kirk Gibson, Johnny Kane, John Keating, Rod Allen. I'm Matt Shepard. Glad you're with us from Comerica Park. The first of 3 between these two teams. The first of 12 in a row at home for the Tigers. We're 7 games below the break even against a Chicago team who has the fewest wins in Major League Baseball this year. Just 15 knockouts. But they have got a wonderful performance from their right-hander Ronaldo Lopez, and Jose Abreu has been tough to beat too. 2 for 3 so far tonight. 1-1.
Well, I know he's throwing a good game, but I feel a walk-off. How does that sound to you? Tigers got to hang in there, keep the lead where it is right now.
Well, they've had some chances, haven't they?
But I mean, they did a good job. Candy hit a bullet. Just could have been in the corner and scored everybody, but it didn't. Keep the pressure on the White Sox. They pressured the White Sox. It hasn't worked out every time, but White Sox are going to pick up the ball. They're going to be rushing.
Ground ball to second. Goodrum in the right spot for 1 down.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Tigers trail 4-2 as we are in the top of the 7th. Chicago scored 2. Right there you have Abreu, and then Tim Anderson plating another. Then the Tigers get a double by Nick. And Victor Martinez's ground ball scores Nick from third base. And then Tim Anderson jumped on a hanging slider. They got 1 in the 5th, so we're there at 4-2 right now. Tigers trail, but have really played an aggressive game tonight. And hopefully the White Sox will feel the pressure, fold it up, and Tigers can get a victory tonight.
Tigers bullpen last time out pretty good. 3 1/3 scoreless innings in the wrap-up game against Minnesota, in which the Tigers won 4-1. Warwick Sawpole pitched the night before that game, and as part of the Wallside Windows pitching change. Last 5 outings, 1-0 with a 2.7 ERA for the Tiger right-hander.
There you see the numbers by Warwick. 18th game, 2.55 ERA. Kind of a contact pitcher. Opponent's hitting 269.
Pitch into contact. Palco taps it foul.
Pretty good infield for the Tigers right now, Nico. And Iglesias up the middle. Candyman's coming back. And I'll tell you, John Hicks, I think, much improvement at first base since he's come on the scene. Forced into action, really.
Talk to him about that move. It's more about footwork than anything else for him. Here's one slap to Iglesias. That's a really tough hop. In between hop for Jose Iglesias. We'll see how they mark that.
That's a good jinx by me right there, huh?
Yeah, sure was.
Man.
Right on cue. What's wrong with you? Been doing this a long time.
Well, I got confidence. He just come up and took a bad hop on him. Still have the double play in order.
That'll be an error. It's just the 3rd of the year for Jose Iglesias.
He's got sure hands generally.
He's got quick hands. One of my favorite features I did for our Tigers weekly show was watching him move the baseball around, the size of the glove that he used, how quickly he used. Yeah, 11, I think 11 and a quarter, Gibby. Anderson, who homered last time up, a solo job to left, a no-doubter, his 8th of the year. That's as many as Jose Abreu.
Yeah, he lets it go.
Sure does.
Not a real big beefy guy, but he's wiry strong.
He has gotten well here at Detroit's expense tonight. Last 20 games before the game tonight, just batting 164, yet he's 2 for 3 so far here tonight. Punch down the right field line. Trouble if it's fair, it's foul.
Boy.
You're looking at second and third with 1 down if that was just inside the line.
I think he got his thumb there. Did he get jammed? Daniel Stumpf get warming up for the Tigers. Gardy has shown this. He's not afraid to use pitchers to get through. He's got Greeny in the 8th. Jimenez in the, Greeny in the 9th. Jimenez in the 8th. Coleman would be a gap guy, but one thing is they don't have the lead. You want to use those guys when you have the lead only.
Right.
So right now, Gardy will use the whole bullpen to find that lead before he puts his big guys in.
Good stop by McCann. Gibby, as a manager, how much do you have to look ahead in a series? Not just this series, but I'm talking about, we mentioned a 12-game homestand and 16 games in 15 days. How much does that weigh on your mind as a...
Well, right now he's looking at Narvaez, who's hitting .083 off left-handed pitchers. So I would think if Anderson gets on, you might see Stumpf in here right now. And then as far as, all the games, definitely you want to try and pace your bullpen. However, if you need to use the guys to win a game, you're going to do that. Toledo's close, and you've seen guys coming up and down. You've seen different names. Luis Coleman is a new name who's been successful, and everybody in the minor leagues is going to get a chance, in my opinion, this year. You're getting an opportunity to come up and show that you can slow the game down, make pitches, don't walk people.
Ground ball through the hole on the right side. Anderson with a 3-hit night. And that might do it for Warwick Sawpole.
Yeah, he's got to try and keep this game 2 runs.
Lefty due up for the White Sox, a lefty due in for the Tigers, and we have ourselves a Wallside Windows pitching change.
May only see him for 1 hitter.
We'll take a look at Daniel Stumpf's numbers and how it fares maybe against Chicago when we return. Then Daniel Stump, 27th appearance. Our wall side windows pitching change. Take a look at his numbers.
Yeah, had a good outing against Minnesota. However, in his previous outings, not so good. And you talked about all the appearances that he has. This is what happens when you especially tax young arms. They're not used to going that many days, and to try and keep their stuff is very tough. So this is what the job is, and he's going to have to find a way to bounce back, and he's throwing a lot. But you know, as a manager, it's going to wear guys down a little bit, so you got to live with it sometimes. You just got to go there. You're not much gas in the tank, but you give it your best, and good things can happen.
Well, we talked with Ron Gardenhire before the game about that very same thing. You know, the bullpen and how you gain consistency out of a bullpen. It's not an easy thing to do. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Narvaez looks at it outside. It's a challenge, and Ron Gardenhire told us you can't force the issue, but guys, we got some guys beat up a little bit, and some of these guys who he's throwing out there are pitching in different scenarios that they're not necessarily used to. The one thing that will drive him absolutely bonkers is walks.
Right. Well, you see, he can affect how many pitches he throws right here. You get a quick out, right? And that's effectively what you're trying to do as a pitcher. They all want to come in. You want to strike guys out, which is sometimes you're going to have to do that. But also you can let him put it in play right here. You got one out, a ball on the ground is perfect. You're going to get a double play.
Yeah, that's ideal. Got him. Look at it. Fifth strikeout of the night for Tigers pitchers.
Good job right here. Gets the strikeout right at the top of the zone. Gets the call. That's better than the double play for sure. See, Narvaez just locks up. That's why Gardy made the move, and Stump so far so good. Now he's got to close it down here. Get Engel.
Engel 1 for 3 tonight. I barely missed. Engel 333 in his last 11 coming in. Not good like the entire Sox team with runners in scoring position. Now it's 1-1.
Nobody warming up in the pen for the Tigers, so it's going to be Daniel. Now if you have the lead, maybe it's a little different. Maybe you've got more arms in play. It's much different, of course, in the National League when you may have a pitcher coming up. Tigers will be getting to some National League games as we approach the middle of the season here.
1-2. White Sox hitting just .240 with runners in scoring position the last 22 games coming into the game tonight. Another foul back. A lot of baseballs in the Comerica Park stands tonight.
One and two, he's total control. Make a good pitch, get right here, right out of it. They want it in, get it in on the hands. Engel has hit how many balls foul?
Yeah, he's hit a ton.
Thank goodness the net's up
really
tonight.
Good at bats, isn't he?
Well, I mean, is that good? Like Frank Tanana loved that pitch in. You throw that fastball in, and then you throw the changeup in.
Yeah.
But not many right-on-right changes. Here he's coming way in off the dish. He's getting that head out. Throw that changeup in there, right into the dirt. Going high again.
Jammed him, and Stump calls for the pop-up. Tigers are out of the inning. Will stretch. They're down 2. Coming up is the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch on Fox Sports Detroit.
happened back on April 5th in Chicago. He goes, first home run as a Tiger. That's after Miggy went down. He came in for Miguel, went big fly. Know your own power. Would take another right now.
He's got enough power to tie 4 other Tigers for the team lead in home runs with 5. Goodrum, Hicks, and McCann for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 7th, trailing 4-2. Lopez very manageable. Gibby, 84 pitches now.
Through 6.
It's been good. He's impressive.
Throwing a lot of strikes, 52. That changeup again. Really starting to go to it. 3rd strikeout
of the night for Reynaldo Lopez.
Yeah, lots of fastballs early. Now he's starting to mix in occasional slider. And here's the change piece. That's the slider right there going down. See, he gets on the side of it.
Lopez came here from Washington with Dane Dunning, another right-handed pitcher, and Lucas Giolito, another right-handed pitcher, in exchange for Adam Eaton. Yeah, and Eaton has been injured quite a bit for the Nationals.
Yeah, I look at a lot of players out there that supposedly are going to get traded at the deadline and/or are free agents. I think they're getting way better. A lot of sources out there predicting injury more. It's going to be much different. I think the White Sox got a good return for that, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. And it's a team that many people feel, what do you think, Gibby? A couple years, 2021, when they feel like they can really contend with some of this young talent that they've acquired?
I would never sell yourself short. You always want to compete. But I think that the one element any team needs is pitching. I mean, I don't think without pitching you can do it with more hitting. In general, you've got to have good pitching, and part of being a good pitcher is having good defense. And you're seeing the trend as of late, more athleticism on these teams that are year in and year out competing for a championship.
Well, look what the Tigers have done. They've stockpiled arms. Alex Faedo a year ago. Matt Manning, for example. I had Matt Manning on my radio show this morning. Really impressive 20-year-old who's been great at home
Come a long
for West
way.
Michigan. Yeah, Kyle Funkhauser, another guy. Hicks fouls it away.
Bo Burrows.
Bo Burrows, who might be the most major league ready. Franklin Perez, who they got in a trade a year ago. And then who knows what happens with the upcoming first overall choice. Many people speculating Casey Mize out of Auburn. 6'3", 200-quarter guy who throws a ton of strikeouts and it commands all his pitches. That's a stable of arms, Gibby.
Well, you're not going to hit on them all. Farmer and Jimenez up in the bullpen. Farmer if we don't get a tie. Joe if we do.
Hicks draws a 1-out walk. Ram pick the stick update. I had the first overall pick tonight for Mario, and I think I'm doing all right. You want this booth is doing okay.
Hot. I think when I had Nick total, I've got 2 points on the whole year, so it's just somewhat. I don't want to say luck. There's certainly skill involved in it.
Well, there's some research involved.
I'm going to come a long way. Watch it.
Johnny scores better for the golf course. That's usually what he puts up on the golf course, by the way, the -1.
He's that good?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He is. He dresses the part better than anybody I play with. How's that? Ron Cooper talking to his starter on what he needs to do to get through this frame, but maybe more importantly, get through the battle with James McCann. Celebrate the 25th anniversary of the movie The Sandlot when the Tigers face the Blue Jays on Saturday, June 2nd at 4:10. Special ticket packages are on sale now and include a Sandlot t-shirt, game ticket, and donation to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. For tickets, go to tigers.com/Sandlot. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Right, yeah. Any other references from The Sandlot?
Yeah, I'm not a huge movie watcher, but I catch a couple of them. I was zoned out there. I'm looking at McCann, what he's got ahead of him right now, looking for a 2-run homer or keep the line going. Struck out, hit into a double play. This game is perfect. I remember James had a tough game earlier in the season, and he got the game winner.
3 homers on the year. Swings to an off-speed pitch. Tigers have had at least 1 base runner in each of their last 5 innings.
Good slider there. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to hit the ball. And James hunting the fastball there, got the slider. That's okay. Could be another one.
Peter
down and away. Remember he got him up and in. Probably sees something up in there. He struck him out up and in late.
That was back in the 30th and into a double play in the 5th.
That boy, way to lay off. So this is where the 3rd time around now he's seen the slider, he's seen the fastball, he's seen it down and away, he's seen it up and in. So you start to recognize a little bit quicker. Now the fastballs, again, he got him in the strikeout up and in. Looks like something off speed again.
Grounded to short. Another DP. And Lopez gets out of what could have been a sticky situation. Tigers are down 2. We're through 7. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Wallside Windows brings us another Tigers pitching change.
Got Buck Farmer coming in again. He's getting a lot of work. 25th game. Has had 6 holds. It's been good and bad. 27 strikeouts, 14 walks. He's got the stuff. He's got a good fastball and a good changeup. Just looking for that consistency.
A lot of it's confidence.
It is. And we talked about that. I talked to Buck years ago, and you're a youngster and you're getting your first real opportunity. It is. You get excited at times, and you need to figure out how to get guys out. These guys are pretty good up here. You're facing guys you've never seen before.
Yep. And sometimes in situations you're not used to as well.
Yeah, and you're scouted heavy. Heavy.
Tilson with a ground ball to short. Routine for Iglesias. First of 3 between these two teams tomorrow. The upcoming pitching matchup brought to you by Wallside Windows. Francisco Liriano, who has been fantastic.
Lefties, couple lefties. Yeah, he really has. 3-1 for the Tigers this year. Opponent's only hitting 194. Hector Santiago, formidable as well. So they'll go at it, try and add on to that 7.11 ERA of Santiago.
Trace Thompson, the number 9 hitter. 1 for 3. That RBI single back in the 4th, a big run for Chicago. Put him back up 3-2 at the time.
That's
since
nasty.
Since then, Tim Anderson added a home run, his 8th of the year. That's where we stand.
Not a hanger, but you're going to hang him now and then. You got to give the batter some credit. Good tight slider tonight. Going straight down, no humping it, hard to pick up.
Johnny Kane.
Hey, Chef, good to hear you. Good to be with you guys again. I'm here with Bill Fundero, celebrating 50 years as the Tigers usher. I know you had an opportunity earlier today to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. I wanted to ask you, have you thought about how many games you've actually witnessed, Tigers baseball games?
Wow. I mean, home and away. Now you're talking about traveling a lot.
It's a lot of games.
You know, and that's a lot of games. But it's a beautiful sport.
It is.
Whereas, you know, they want to take time off the game. What'd they do? They took 3 minutes off the game a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
3 minutes. You can't sit here for 3 minutes?
I love how you tell it how it is. I was talking with your daughter a couple minutes ago, and she said, you haven't missed any of your 50 opening days, you haven't missed opening day, and you rarely missed a game.
Yes, yeah.
Why is that?
Obligation. They bring me into work.
Yep.
And if I don't work, I'm out there buying the ticket.
Yeah, you're right. I want to ask you maybe a memorable moment. What's one of your most memorable Tigers moments in all your years?
Too many. It just, like the last game of the '84 World Series,
Pretty good.
Gibson was coming down the stairs from the clubhouse. He's yelling, the ball's going out of the park. The ball's going out of the park. Well, Brookins, Trammell, Lemon were all down in the tunnel. I said, that man's crazy. Because he played baseball with a football attitude.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I saw him come in, an umpire. Whitaker was on second. Gibson was on first. There was a hit. Whitaker comes around.
I remember.
And scores, or maybe he got tagged out, but Gibson was right behind on his tip, knocked the hell out of Barnett because he made a mistake coming up the line a little bit.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it was a great memory. We'll try to revisit it here. We're up against a break here. We're going to come right back, Bill.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing a few memories here.
Thanks for being
familiar face in for the Chicago White Sox. Bruce Rondon gets the 8th here for Chicago. Starts Jose Iglesias off with a 98-mile-per-hour heater.
Well, he handled the Tigers the first time he faced them. Here we go again.
Actually been pretty good for Chicago. That one's in at the knees.
Got 2 wins.
Earned the 2nd of the year on Tuesday against Baltimore.
Struck out 11 in his last 10 innings, 9 innings, 9 1/3.
Hasn't allowed an earned run over that span. This one slapped inside the line. This could be 2 for Iglesias. And it's going to be a stand-up double to lead off the 8th.
Well, Iggy got the head out. And this pitch right here tucks it in the side of the bag. Yomer Sanchez got no chance. Look at a little slider. Not a good breaker. That's what the Tigers need here. A leadoff 2-bagger. We score 3. It's the best time to score, don't you think, Chuck?
Amen.
Bottom of the 8th. Come in, have the boys clean it up.
Second hit of the night for Iglesias. Jacoby Jones.
Good idea. Good idea. They had Sanchez back. Need runners. Get some pressure.
4-10-0 for Chicago. 2-6-2 for the Tigers on this Friday night. In front of 24,648 faithful. 0-2 now to Jacoby Jones.
Didn't like it. See Mark Carlson giving it to him. Tell him that's a strike. It's going to be a strike. You make the call. Yeah, that ball's really coming back. You're not going to be able to give up on it. He loves his slider. High heater.
Got him. 3 pitches. What did you say earlier in the broadcast about Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire? You said he calls low strikes.
And he's level-headed. I mean, he did a good job with Jacoby right there. That ball, as I said, ball side windows pitching change. Bruce Rondon in 15 games has 2 holds, 21 strikeouts, 8 walks. I think you'd want to be a lefty, although that ball, his fastball, really tails away from the lefties.
ERAs can be a little deceiving for relievers just because one inning or one appearance can really blow that out of proportion.
Come on, Lenny.
Pulled the string on him. Martinez singled and scored in the 4th. Walked his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
Goal is to get on for Nick.
And tight.
When Bruce was here, he always had the lively arm. The slider was always work in progress. It's somewhat inconsistent.
It's the control and conditioning that worried a lot of people.
Yeah,
right?
well,
and let's face it, a little bit of the attitude.
Well, I don't know if it was attitude. I just think he was a young kid that came up with high expectations, and sometimes when you move on, it's better.
This one scorched to right. Should deliver Iglesias. Martin with a run-scoring single, and the Tigers have pulled it within 1.
Keep the line moving. Scored a run. Got Nick coming up. Rondon's on the mound. Doesn't hold runners well, so the Tigers have many options here. Let's take a look at the big boy's big play. Right here, it looks like it's a little hanging slider. Martin fists it down into the right field corner. White Sox are playing them over there. Iggy scores easily. 4-2. Comes down Cooper. You can see the good read right away. Look at Clarkey. He's getting all hopped up. You see that? You see Dave Clark, the third base coach there?
Yeah.
Now, when you come down and you watch the coaches, could you read his body language, what he was saying? You obviously can't verbalize it, but the way he came at him just said, really, just get scooting, just get scooting.
Yeah, be aggressive, yeah.
Now, if he stays down the line there, that tells you be ready to shut it down. If you come at him, he's saying, you're gone.
Detroit's done a better job of taking those extra bases, right, Gibby? I mean, they're at about 46% going first to third, going from second to home on base hits. The league average is about 40%. So that's pretty good for Detroit and what they've been able to do in that regard. Here's Castellanos, who's been red hot here tonight and has been red hot all season long. 2 for 3, a double and a run scored back in the 4th.
Over the Meyer side. Slide piece. But all this aggressiveness you're talking about has the White Sox thinking about something else. You follow me?
I do.
And I like Rondon, he's definitely runnable, and Narvaez is definitely runnable.
Martin with 1 stolen bag on the year.
He had that hamstring.
Castellanos drills one to left. Get down and into the corner, it does! Martin's got good speed, rounding third. Clark says, keep going. Here's a relay home, and it is not in time! Tigers have tied it! Castellanos all the way to third! Clutch play by Castellanos.
This is going to get reviewed. Well, we're going to talk about relays in the next couple days. Tilson does a pretty good job, but he overthrows the first cutoff man. I'm sure they're going to review it. I think he's on the plate, huh? Good slide. Now that's what I'm talking about. They're going to review it for sure.
Narvaez tagged him just below the number. There. He might be out. This will be a very interesting and critical review.
Now see, you got to get inside there, lay out to the inside and get low.
Is there enough to overturn it?
Well, the one view is going to be hard to overturn it, but I'm afraid they may. Of course, there's so many elements that go into it right here. Game of inches. I don't know if he's. They're going to have to slow it down frame by frame.
Yeah, I don't know if he truly tagged him.
He did, but where was his foot? He's safe. Just kidding. The suspense. Here we go. Safe, yeah. Uh-oh, Renteria's going to get thrown out here, watch. Oh, he's going to take the pitcher. I thought he was
making a move. We had talked up Bruce Rondon, who pitched pretty well for Chicago this year. He did not. Here back in a homecoming to Comerica Park. 2 runs allowed here in the 8th. Deadlocked at 4. And the tie-breaking run in the form of Nick Castellanos is at 3rd with 1 down. Stay with us.
Nick Castellanos with Leonis Martin, and when you see the ball go by him like that, you're thinking, I got to scoot. You're long-legged, making good turns. He comes in there, makes a good slide. He's ruled safe, and they do not overturn it. And here's Nick. The beauty of this is he's going right behind him. He's got to read him as well. Nice trip, and he sees the ball go to home, reads it on to third, and the Tigers have Nick on third, one down, infield in. Mr. Fry on the mound.
Just really good base running, right? I mean, that is
pretty good.
So important.
Come a long way.
Jace Fry yesterday surrendered his first hit and walk of the season. Candelario punches one to right, and Abreu can't make the play. Castellanos scores to give the Tigers their first lead.
Well, that's a beauty. Finally got a break. Been wearing out Candy hands all night. Infield in, that's what happens.
Bruce Rondon responsible for those runs. All three here in the 8th so far. One down, Victor Martinez up. We had started to talk about Jace Fry and how yesterday he surrendered his first hit and walk of the year. Worked 9 1/3 scoreless innings overall.
Victor may sit on an off-speed pitch here. At least to try and get it in. Well, let's look back. Nick's on third, and Jamer gets into the hands. You see Abreu is playing in on the infield skin. It's not an easy play. A good read by Nick. Pump those arms and easily scores.
Pop up. Right field. Thompson is there. 2 away. MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Detroit Tigers home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and a whole lot more. Download MLB at Bat today. Nico Goodrum tries to keep the line moving. Strikeout victim back in the 7th, and an 0 for 3 night.
That first pitch is, he loves that off-speed pitch. He just dumped another one in.
Ground ball to short. Anderson with an easy hop. And the White Sox are out of it, but not before Detroit plates 3 on 4 hits. Nick Castellanos with another RBI double tonight, and he scores the tie-breaking run as well. Martin slides in safely, and then Castellanos caps it off. Detroit's up by 1, trying to close it out as we head to the 9th.
when I say this, Rod. You were right. You were right. You said they were going to come back tonight.
Well, the energy they play with, and Martin makes all the difference in the world. 2 hits and a walk. He scored runs. Nicholas Castellanos, 5 straight games, multi-hit games, and Jamer comes back with a bloop single. The top of the order today has really gotten off. Now it's up to the bullpen to hold it down.
Postgame should be very interesting tonight. Let's send it back upstairs to Matt and Gibby, who should also know that Rod was right.
Let's check the tape.
We say that all the time. All the time. He reminds us too, Keats. Shane Green on to try and close out for what would be his 12th save of the year.
2-2, 24th game. 11 of 14 saves versus opportunities.
Love the strikeout to walk ratio. Moncada, the top of the order, ended it last inning, so it's Yolmer Sanchez, the number 2 hitter, Jose Abreu, the number 3 hitter, and Daniel Palka,
Peter
the number 4
Cosma
hitter.
there at second base, huh? Doing some cleanup on the D.
Sanchez bunts it foul. Rod had mentioned Castellanos with a 5th straight multi-hit game. 8th game this year for the Tigers right fielder in which he has 3 hits or more.
There's no doubt he's saying, get on my back.
Oh, you better believe it. He is raking. You and I talked about it in the open. One of the best hitters in the American League. He really is. 6th in average coming in. Top 10 in hits. Been red hot too. Sanchez waits. Green just missed. Good success against Shane Green in his career.
Want to keep it away.
Leads the league in triples with 4. Slapped foul.
See what kind of mode he's in right there, huh? And that's called full emergency by Sanchez. Looked like he was sitting on a pitch. Just tried to stay alive and hope that Greeny hangs one.
Batting .315 against righties coming into the game tonight.
Not down and in for sure.
Grounder to third. Candelario off balance throw, and it gets by Hicks, but no advancement. Really good play by Cosma.
Slipped.
Well, Sunday it's one of the biggest races of the year as Kevin Harvick looks to make it 3 in a row at the Coca-Cola 600 on Fox. It all starts at 5:30 Eastern, or you can stream it live on Fox Sports Go.
Look who's coming to bat. Jose Abreu.
No one said it was going to be easy.
Seems like a good double play candidate to me in this situation. Greeny gets that good slider down the way. They got him last time. He struck him out.
Sanchez has 3 stolen bases on the year. Abreu sure isn't going to advance him with a bunt. The first pitch strike.
7 double plays so far that Abreu is grounded into. Let's make it 8.
That's tied for the team lead. Surprisingly enough, it's tied with Tim Anderson.
You know it's a bullet if Anderson's getting doubled off.
Right. Check swing foul. 0-2. Stay awake on deck, right? Yeah. Better be careful.
You know, in the minor leagues, the on-deck hitter goes to the other side. You know what I'm saying? So he should be on top of the Tigers. Palka should be on top of the Tigers in front of their dugout. Does that make sense?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could get just as easily. What if he loses control of the bat?
Yeah,
if you're a right-handed stick.
Say more balls come out of there.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Pop down the right field line. Long run for Castellanos.
Good hustle. It's one of those deals you couldn't throw it out there better. Good hard fastball. Looks like Abreu's protecting against that slider. Tigers struck him out in the 5th inning on a nice wide slider.
Love to get him to do what he did back in the 7th, and that was ground out to second. He's 2 for 4 tonight. If he does that, it's Cosma twisting it with Iglesias. With nobody down here in the 9th, Tigers just took the lead in the bottom half of the 8th with a 3-run rally.
Good try. McCann with a good block. Got to keep it in front.
Try to get him to chase.
Right now, I think you're setting up a pitch. If you could throw another one, then come in. I think you got him. Not down and in. You just have to make sure you can get it in there. Many good pitchers, veteran pitchers, they'll go 2 pitches to set up the 3rd.
Should be 2. And it is. That's massive.
Good quality pitch there. Got it low. He's got great movement on his fastball. And Pete down there at second base.
Well, Cosma took his time, Gibby, because he knew who was running. Good
Got
play all
squared up
around. Yeah.
and knew that Sanchez couldn't really come after him.
Chicago's hopes rest with Daniel Palka. 1 for 4. Crowd on its feet. Sliced foul.
And keep it away from him. Don't want to give him any shot of taking this ball out of the park.
Shane Green 5 for 7 and 1-run save opportunities this year.
Looks to have good life on that fastball with that day off yesterday.
Missed outside.
You're an outfielder, an infielder. Got to think about what you're going to do here. Ball comes to you, goes in the corner. If you're a right fielder, left fielder. If it goes to center field, you want to get over there. If you're a corner guy, make sure you communicate where to throw it. Take your time. Anything that might happen, you want to think it out. Of course, Gardy's over there grinding. This is when you have to show you're a cool character, but inside you really grind it.
Well, this is what he told us he loves most about his team. They battle. They fight. They are not going to give in lightly.
But he's looking at that card right now, and he's thinking if he gets on, if the next guy gets on, he's thinking about what poison do I want to pick.
Right.
You got Anderson up next.
How many guys ahead are you looking?
Well, he would, depending on how many outs. So he's got 2 outs, and he's got 3 bases to fill before that. Well, maybe you go around Anderson to Narvaez. You know, it's just Greeny's the guy. He's not going to bring anybody else in. It's just how do I navigate through?
Resting with him. Just missed 2-1. It's been that outside corner that has alienated Tigers pitchers all night long with home plate umpire Mark Carlson.
I think he's been pretty consistent.
Yes, he has. Absolutely.
Pretty consistent to the scouting report.
Three and 1. Palka has 3 homers on the year.
Keep it low.
Now it's full.
Look at he threw the slider. No, he used Palka's aggressiveness against him right there. It's a dangerous pitch, but he was thinking fastball, and he threw the slider. Chance to put him away here.
Got him swinging, and the Tigers win.
5-4 the final. Stay tuned. Tigers Live postgame from the Coliseum Studios with John Keeney and Ron Allen. It's coming up next.